getting that time of year again. It's getting cold outside. It's forcing us to come inside and be faced with what we've done with our game rooms and game collections. Today we've got another episode of Game Room Tours. We're going to get to take a look at somebody else's collection that has been sent in so we can take a look through it, look for really cool display ideas for our own collections, and cool stuff that they have in their collections along the way. Let's take a look. Today's game space, game room, game collection, and just overall just gaming area comes in from Sam. Sam has an awesome collection filled with a ton of different things and a lot of different sectors for those different things. I feel like this first shot really gives you a good idea of what this space is. You get a little bit of the TV in here, you have some lighting going on in this display cabinet that he has. There's a little bit of music back there in the corner, and the couch of course, but there's a lot of other things in this picture. But moving to another picture where we get to see the TV head on, we get a full idea of what it looks like when you're playing games in this game room. The TV that he has is sitting on this dark TV stand, and this TV stand is filled to the brim with consoles as well as controllers. On the top of the TV stand he has this Minecraft Xbox, this special edition, which is pretty awesome, and then off to the right he also has a PS5. I don't know where else you're gonna put these PS5s outside of putting them on top of these counters, but it's always something I'm thinking about. If you have an idea of where to put PS5s in a game collection or on a TV stand or even wall mounted, let me know in the comments below. And of course if you have a Minecraft Xbox, you also have a Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch and dock, which is really cool. This is one of the best looking Nintendo Switch that is existing today. Now underneath of that is where he has most of his retro systems. I think there's a PS4 Pro, maybe a special edition as well in there. Some Xboxes, you've got a GameCube, a Wii, there's a whole bunch of other consoles underneath there. This is really the command center for playing these games. But taking a step back of this picture entirely, you get to see it's kind of modular the way he's got it all set up. I mean, a lot of collections end up being very eclectic and can get a little confusing, but I like that these spaces are kind of divided up into their own little areas to kind of give their own spot to certain things. For instance, in this area you can start to see these big shelves that he has attached to the wall on the top of this picture, and these have a lot of the special editions and the big boxes for consoles and that kind of thing. It's definitely something you want to keep in mind when you're setting up your own collection, is having that space, if you want it, to display these boxes or to have them out. If you don't want to have them out, that's totally fine in my opinion. You can go hide them away, break them down into flat boxes and store them in your closet. But if you want to have them out, you really want to plan for that bigger space for those boxes. Now down to the left of the TV stand, you also have another shelf. This is definitely some sort of media shelf that's down here. And what he has on this shelf is Nintendo Switch games. He has plenty of Super Nintendo games on here, as well as N64, DS, and 3DS games mixed into the mix there. There's probably some others in there as well. I like that he's made the choice to take some of his Super Nintendo cartridges and kind of outface them, so he gets to see the cartridges that he's chosen all the time. Those guys are out there front faced, you get to see the artwork, you get to see that beautiful design of the cartridge, which is part of the artwork in my opinion, and it's just awesome. Now moving to a different shot, you get an idea of what's to the left of that shelf, and that's of course more shelves full of games and figures and all sorts of fun things. The shelf directly to the left of it is mostly figures. It seems like they've used this shelf as a display for figures and a couple handhelds on one of those shelves. You've got to love seeing those special edition handhelds, especially that Zelda one. I am incredibly jealous of the Zelda 3DS. Can I just have it? Now once you take one step left of that shelf, you end up in PlayStation territory. Don't talk to me about Nintendo in this territory. This is PlayStation only. He's got PS4 games, PS2 games, PS3 games. There's all the PS games. And of course, sandwiched between these two shelves of PlayStation games is this display case. And this display case is being used for a bunch of different things. First of all, in another shot, you can see that there's a VCR sitting on top of this along with a CRT TV. So this is where he's plugging those VHS tapes in and watching some of those cool old films that we have out there. I know a lot of people are collecting VHS nowadays. Very collectible. If you have VHS, check them out to see what the value's at nowadays. But moving down into the display case itself, you have a lot of PlayStation items in here. You have a PS1 up there, a bunch of controllers, some add-ons and attachments for the PlayStation, as well as another PS4 or PS4 Pro, I think, is at the very bottom there. And everything there seems to be gray, which is kind of cool. There's this very linear nature to choosing all the same color items to be in this shelf, and I think it looks great. And then moving to the shelf to the left of that, you end up in VHS territory. This is where all these cool movies that don't exist on DVD and Blu-ray today, that maybe you've never seen in your life, but they exist on VHS. You can take that VHS out, pop it into that VCR up there, and just start rocking out to some terrible movie from the 90s. In this other photo that he sent in, you can see a better angle of this whole area. You get another one of these big, large shelves that he's attached to the wall back there with all sorts of different items on it. But essentially, he's kind of stuck with the same theme of having the big box items kind of up there at the top. In this case, he's got a bunch of plushies there in the center, a lot of video game related plushies. But what I like from this photo overall is this couch. I really like this couch for some reason. I like the color of this couch. These kind of like mustardy yellow colors are really awesome. I've looked into like a yellow couch in the past because it really adds a really stark contrast to all these shelves that you have around. Whether you have white shelves or black shelves or gray shelves, that yellow is going to pop there and be a really nice central point for the whole room. And moving to the left of that nice yellow couch with the alien head on it, we end up in this CRT area. This is the zone, the retro zone. There's tons of retro consoles down below here in these cube style shelves. Again, I believe these are Kallax unit shelves, and you can find them at IKEA's. Another interesting thing about this shelf here are these shelf dividers that they have in here. You can see that there's two shelves that have been divided up halfway. And those dividers were not available in the United States up until now. They're just starting to come out in the US, and they probably won't last forever. So just keep in mind, if you are looking for these kinds of dividers, start checking out your IKEAs now to try to get these and more of the dividers that have come out recently. They have a few of them that have just come out. I'm trying to get a hold of them so I can make a video and let everybody know while they still are out there. But the dividers look great in my opinion, make all these consoles look awesome. These are all like PVMs and professional monitors, so this is probably the best that you can do when it comes to looking at retro games in the most clean, best way. But overall, I love this little CRT area. It's a nice little spot to kind of plug in all the retro stuff and have it kind of in its own zone. Another little module to this game collection. And to the left of this little CRT area, you have another one of these big clear display shelves. And this one seems to be dedicated to Game Boy or handhelds from Nintendo, and it's just got a ton of stuff in it. There's so much stuff in here. Just looking from the top to the bottom, you'll see all sorts of really cool old retro boxes for Game Boys. Everything's looking in pretty dang good condition. You have all sorts of different types of Game Boys. I'm pretty sure he's got the majority of the different kinds of Game Boys. I really love to see all of this stuff on display. I would be so sad to see this put into a drawer someplace, out of sight forever. Why do you own this stuff unless you want to see it or use it, etc.? I don't understand. But as a nice bonus, this shelf is also lit. So you'll notice in that first shot that I showed, it really becomes a central point for the entire game collection. That light in this one spot really lights up. It even puts some light on the floor, it puts some light around the room, but it just draws you into this. And hey, it's Game Boy, so that's a good thing. To the left of that display, you end up in another module of this game collection, and he's got kind of a frame on the wall here with Pokemon cards kind of into it. You could mount them in here and just have all of your favorite Pokemon cards in one location, kind of staring at you like an art piece. Down beneath that, there's some really cool retro cameras down there, probably a little camera collection. I have a little camera collection myself of some cool cameras I've used to use over the years. I've always loved cameras and filming and all of that stuff, so it's cool to see these. Underneath that, I believe there's DVDs and Blu-rays and maybe some CDs down there, and that is the module for that in this area. It's just a nice little spot to have those things ready to go, especially when the TV's not very far away from this zone. Now, what looks like to be on the back of the door next to this, there is Animal Crossing poster, so you have a nice little piece of artwork there. Underneath that is a pin collection, and these are really cool. Pin collections are awesome because they can become this big, massive art piece from a distance, but as you get closer, there's a lot more interest in there because every little pin says something different, or is a different person, or has a different thing to say, and it's just really cool. I love that pins are something that can be awesome from a distance and awesome up close. And now we've come full circle back to where the TV is, and just to the right of the TV is this music station with this turntable. This is the place where you come to plug in those CDs and those records and all of the good vinyl that's out there and play that music in your game space. I definitely recommend people think about music when it comes to game rooms and that kind of thing, because music is definitely part of the things that we enjoy. Especially if you enjoy it, it should definitely be part of your game room, your game collection. especially with all the cool soundtracks that are out there and the cool vinyl that's coming out of the industry nowadays. It's just an awesome part of a game room. So overall, I want to say Sam's done a really great job kind of dividing up this space, adding art pieces here or there. There's some perler on the walls that I thought was really cool along the way. There's some cool figures in there I've never seen before. You got the BB on the shelf in the room. This couch with the alien head on it is pretty awesome. I just really like this space as a place to chill out and play video games. And that's the goal of these game collections, is to just have a nice space for your games, for you to be in. If it matches all those things, you've probably got an awesome game collection or game space or game setup or whatever you want to call it. So big thanks to Sam for sending it in. Definitely appreciate you sending in this awesome collection for us all to take a look at. If you're thinking about sending in your game collection, feel free to do so. There'll be a link in the description, as well as probably the comments on how to do that. There's a video, explains everything you need to know to send in your game room. But yeah, send it in. You need to send in your game collection. If you don't send it in, then you're not cool like Sam. Sam's pretty cool. But if you like today's video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel, because there's definitely more coming down the line. If you just are awesome, I appreciate it. You're just awesome. That's all it is. You're just an awesome person. Hope you have a fantastic day today and collect what you love.